Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be doing my Sephora sale recommendations, and I am so excited because Sephora is going to be having their sale this week. So if you are a VIB Rouge member, you get 20% off. So I do have all the deets right here on the card. So starting on the 24th, which is this week, you can get 20% off, and that's going to last all the way through September the 3rd. Now starting on August the 30th, if you are a VIB and if you are an Insider member, you also get the promotion. So starting the 30th, if you're VIB, you'll get 15% off, and starting the 30th, if you're an Insider, you'll get 10% off. So yes, I am super excited about this sale, and I'm gonna be showing you guys my favorites from Sephora. So if you are gonna be shopping this sale and you don't know what to get, hopefully this video helps on your decisions. So yes, if you guys are interested in seeing all of my Sephora sale recommendations, then let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so we'll start out with the skincare first, and I do want to quickly say that some of the skincare products that work for me, it may not work for you guys, but I like to just share the things that I like. And yeah, so the first product I want to talk about is by Korres. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you guys know I always mention this brand in every single one of my Sephora hauls because I'm always restocking on them, or in my Sephora recommendations video, because honestly everything that I have tried from this brand besides the primer I love. And the primer, I just don't like it because it makes my skin look really greasy by the end of the day. But this one is the exfoliating cleanser. I like this because you can use this on a daily. Now the reason why I love this brand so much is not just because it's very gentle on my skin and it's perfect for those of you who have sensitive skin, but the reason is because it's very good if you struggle with dark spots or if you have breakouts here and there. This is going to clear up your breakouts. Not this product alone, but there are other products in that brand that I love. I do have one more that I'm going to mention to you guys, but this one is really good to clean your face morning and night because it's very gentle. And I just think in general that it's very important to exfoliate the skin because that's going to get rid of all of the dead skin cells, and it's also going to make your skin look smoother, and it's also going to clear out your pores. So this is really safe to use every single day. I know with some exfoliators you can't use them every day because they're very harsh on the skin, but this is really good to use every day. So when you're cleaning your face, you can also exfoliate it at the same time. So I love this stuff, and I will be picking up another one because I am completely out. All right, another product that I love from Korres is their 24-hour moisturizer. This is called the Wild Rose Vitamin C Brightening 24-hour moisturizer, and I like to use this in the morning times and at night. So if you're on the hunt for a good high-end moisturizer that's going to keep your face moisturized all throughout the day, even make it look really nice under your foundation, this is a really good moisturizer to try out. So I love using this in conjunction with their serum. Now I don't have the serum with me because I am out of it. They did discontinue the serum that I used to like, and it was called the the Wild Rose Brightening Serum. They had one to come in place of it, which I don't really care for. It's kind of like in a drop tube. What do you call those? So I like using this by itself before I apply my foundation. So I'll apply this first and then go on top of that with a primer. So yes, this is a really good moisturizer to try out. And I have another moisturizer which has been my all-time favorite moisturizer before I was introduced to the Korres products. So that one is by Origins. This is the Energy Boosting Gel Moisturizer, and I mentioned this one no, I didn't mention this one recently, but this is actually one of the moisturizers that I used to talk about all the time on my channel in the past. But I did mention this in a comment in the video where I did a first impression review on the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and I did not have this moisturizer on in that video, but I did mention in a comment down below in the video that I wore this the next day. So that foundation was kind of drying on my skin, but I wore this under a primer, which was the Too Faced Hangover Primer. But I noticed when using this in conjunction with the Too Faced Hangover Primer, that foundation was not as dry on my face, and it looked so much better on my skin. Oh, and I do want to mention the one by Korres, they actually changed the formula of it. I don't know, it doesn't say on the actual packaging, but once you see it inside the Sephora store, like it'll say, I forgot what it says, but it does have a new feel. So this one kind of feels more like a gel moisturizer. At first it was really thick, but I like how they changed it to be more of like a gel moisturizer, because this is going to be so much better to wear under your makeup. So that one is the one by Korres, and then this one by Origin is the same, like it kind of has that same texture. It's kind of like a gel, well it does say a gel moisturizer, but this one is very thin, just like the one by Korres. So I love these. Okay, the last skincare product that I suggest is this Origins Energy Boosting Treatment Lotion Mist. I featured this in my recent, I think it was my monthly favorites video, I believe. I think it was that video. But this is a really good mist for those of you who don't want to apply moisturizer in the mornings or at nighttime. This is actually a moisturizer but in liquid form. So after you get done washing your face, you just spray your face down with this, and what's good about this product is you don't have to rub it in. So it just pretty much soaks into the skin, and it just makes the skin look healthy and hydrated. Now this is not a spray that I would use on top of your makeup. This is one that I would use before you apply makeup or on days when you don't even want to wear makeup. So this is a really good facial mist to use to just hydrate and moisturize the skin. All right, so when it comes down to setting sprays, if you're looking for one that's going to make your makeup last all day, then I would recommend the one by Urban Decay. This is called their all-nighter setting spray. Now I do have a separate video on my favorite primers and setting sprays if you guys are interested in seeing that. If you missed it, I will have that video linked down below for you guys, but this is probably one of my favorite setting sprays from Sephora. Now I have tried a couple out, but this one by far is my favorite one. This is going to just help your foundation look fresh on the skin all day long. It's gonna help it not sink into fine lines on your face if you do have fine lines, or if you have smile lines. This is just going to help your foundation last longer. So again, this is the all-nighter long-lasting makeup setting spray. And for those of you who have dry skin, and if you're looking for a good setting spray that's going to make the skin look more fresh and dewy, the one that I would suggest is by Cover FX. This is called their Dewy Finish Setting Spray, and you guys, this, when I say is going to make your face look fresh and dewy, I kid you not. And I would not use a lot of this product because this does make your skin look dewy. So this one is definitely one that I suggest for those who have dry skin. Now, if you have oily skin, I definitely would not recommend this, but if you have dry skin, I highly recommend it. Now, the thing that I did with this, I think I mentioned this as well in one of my videos. It was down in the comments. It was in the video where I did the first impression of the NYX, what is it, the, I'm drawing a blank, Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. So in that video, down in the comments, I pinned my comment. I mentioned that the next day I wore that foundation and I just used different products under it. So I used the Origins moisturizer. On top of that, I put on the Too Faced Cover FX, the Too Faced Hangover Primer, and then once I got done with my makeup, I just sprayed a little bit of this on top, and it just made the foundation look so much better on my skin. If you guys watched that video where I did a first impression, it just made my skin feel dry. It looked very matte on my skin, but once I applied those products the next day when I used that foundation, it was like day and night. Like, that foundation looks so much better on my skin, and I really like how this mist helped it out at the end after I got done doing my makeup, and also with the foundation, not the foundation, but also with the moisturizer and the primer that I used. So if you have dry skin, highly recommend this spray because this is going to work wonders on the skin. It's just going to make the skin look dewy and fresh. It's not going to make it look greasy or anything like that, but it does give you that nice fresh dewy look, which is what I really like. So again, this is called the Cover FX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. So for the concealers, I have been loving the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealers. I have the shade Chestnut and Toffee. Toffee is the one that I like to use for my dark spots, and then Chestnut is the one that I like to use under my eyes to highlight the under eye, the nose, the forehead, and the chin. But y'all, I have been using these non-stop, and I totally recommend these concealers if you're looking for a good full coverage concealer. And I'm gonna try to remember to leave all of my foundation shades, like some of my favorite foundation shades, down below for your guys' references, because I know some of you asked me what is my foundation shade in like the Fenty Beauty foundation or a MAC foundation. I will have my foundation shades and some of my favorite foundations down below in the description. And speaking of foundations, I have two that I highly recommend, and one is by Too Faced. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Now, I have been a fan of this foundation for a while. It's just I didn't really have that perfect shade, and ever since Jackie Aina collabed with Too Faced to come out with more shades, I finally have my perfect shade, and this is in the shade Chai. This is probably one of my favorite foundations in my collection, and I say that because this is one of the most natural looking foundations. It wears so beautiful on the skin all day long. It does have a medium to full coverage, and I like that because if you don't like to wear a foundation that's going to be full coverage, you can wear this and it still looks natural on the skin. And another thing that I like about this foundation is even though I like to apply 2 layers, it still looks really, really natural on the skin. So again, this is in the shade Chai, and I highly, highly, highly recommend this foundation now that they have more shades in it. So definitely try this out if you have not already. And the other one that I recommend is by Cover FX. This is the Power Play foundation. I have the shade G100. This is another foundation that I like that looks really natural on the skin. And I usually wear 2 layers of any foundation that I have on. In some foundations, when I'm wearing 2 layers, I can definitely see that I'm wearing 2 layers because it looks a little bit too cakey, but this one does not, as well as the one by Too Faced, and I love that about these. And just like the one by Too Faced, this one is also another one that I can wear for a full day, and it still looks really good by the end of the day. So yeah, again, this is the Cover FX Power Play foundation. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that it comes in a squeeze tube. Now, the one by Too Faced has a pump, which I am so grateful for, but the one by Cover FX, it does not have a pump. So if you are running low, I would suggest just storing it upside down, so that way most of the product can go to the top. That way you won't be shaking it down to get that product out. So yes, these are definitely ones that I would recommend if you guys have not tried them already. Okay, setting powders. So if you have been watching my channel for a while, and even recently, I'm pretty sure you know what setting powder I'm gonna mention, but if you are new to my channel, the one that I highly recommend to purchase from Sephora during the sale is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder. This is going to be perfect for those of you who have oily skin. I don't have oily skin. My skin is normal to oily. The only parts on my face that is oily is my T-zone, but this is probably by far the best setting powder that I have tried from Sephora, besides the one that I'm going to mention in a few minutes. But this one is perfect because it does not allow your concealer to crease. Even the concealers that I notice crease under my eyes with other setting powders, it does not crease when using this. If you have not tried this setting powder, I highly recommend trying this out since it will be on sale. This is a mattifying setting powder, so if you don't like setting powders that's going to look matte on the face and that's going to stay looking matte on the face, I would not recommend this. But if you're looking for a setting powder that, like I said, is going to wear all day long, that's going to stay looking matte on the skin all day long, I highly recommend this setting powder. And the other one that I want to mention is also one by Too Faced. This is the Born This Way setting powder. Now, I don't like this one as much as I do the Peach Perfect setting powder, but what I have been doing recently is mixing these together. And girl, Too Faced actually just came out with new shades in the Born This Way setting powder, and this one is the medium shade. I have the translucent and also the deep one. I don't really care for deep loose setting powders because I've never been a fan of applying like loose setting powders all over the face, but this one in particular is the perfect perfect shade for a under eye setting powder. I love this color. It's more like a golden shade. It's kind of like a banana powder, but it's a little bit more golden than your typical banana shade setting powders. But I feel like this is the perfect shade to set my under eye concealer, my forehead, my nose, and my chin. Now the one by the Peach Perfect Setting Powder, this is more of a really light pink peachy color. It's not I don't know how to describe it, but this one is really light. I'll swatch that one. It's really light. And then we have the one which is the medium one. This is more of a yellow, kind of like a yellow golden shade. So I'll put them close up so you guys can see it better. But yeah, those are definitely powders that I would recommend if you are on the hunt for a good setting powder. And also, if you've never tried out any of the setting powders by Too Faced, I highly recommend trying those out. Now, if you're wanting a setting powder that's a little bit more bougie than the ones by Too Faced, a little bit more pricier, but at the same time, really good, the one by Marc Jacobs is what you need in your life. This is the new Coconut Finish Line setting powder. And now a lot of people don't like this, but I love it. I love the fact that this has a little net on the inside. So what I usually do is I'll just shake it up like this, just to kind of get that product to the top. And then when you open it up, you don't have a mess. Like some of these setting powders, when you shake them up and you open them up, like the powder goes flying everywhere. But this one, you don't have a mess at all. You just pretty much dip your sponge or your brush right there and you just apply it on the face. Like I love that about the setting powder. And I also love the fact that this is, it kind of reminds me of the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder because it does give you a nice matte seamless finish and it looks so good on the skin all day long, but at the same time it's not as matte as the Too Faced Peach Perfect. And this one, the color of it is kind of like a tan white color, but once you apply it on the skin, it's not as light as that. It soaks into the skin, as you guys can see. Like look how easily that soaked in. It just looks so pretty, soft, and airbrushed on the skin, which is what I really love about this. But yeah, if you're wanting to try out a setting powder that's a little bit more on the high-end side, definitely try this one out by Marc Jacobs. All right, so my all-time favorite bronzers from Sephora is by Bobbi Brown and Anastasia Beverly Hills. So let's talk about this one by Bobbi Brown really quick. And I know I have talked about this so many times on my channel, as well as the one by Anastasia. But like I said, I have a lot of you that are new to my channel and some of you have never tried out these products. So this one is in the shade Deep. And I know when you look at it, it actually looks like my skin tone, but this is actually the one that I have on right now. So I have a little bit on my forehead, I have a little bit down the sides of my nose, a little bit on the side of my face just to kind of bronze it up, but you can actually see the product. And when, like I said, when you look at it, it looks like it's way too light, but once you apply it on the face, I promise you, like this is like magic in a compact. So again, this is in the shade Deep. And I just love how this just warms up the face. It looks very pretty, very sun-kissed, and it just looks really nice on the skin. So I definitely recommend this one. And another one that I recommend is, again, by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade Mahogany, and this is also kind of similar to the one by Bobbi Brown, but this one is a little bit more warmer. And again, like I said earlier in the video, I'm gonna have my foundation shades. So for those of you who think you are kind of close to my same skin tone, I will have some foundation shades down below in the description. All right, so if you're looking for a palette that has a bronzer, a highlighter, and also a blush all in one, I would recommend getting the Sephora Spiced Market palette. This is another palette or another product that I have talked about and used quite a few times in the past on my channel, but I definitely recommend getting this because you have everything you need. You have your bronzer, which is right here. Now I think this is really a blush because this is marketed as a blush and highlighter palette, I believe. Yeah, blush palette, but I use this as a bronzer. Now this bronzer is pretty much a dupe to the Bobbi Brown bronzer, which again, that's actually what I have on my face right now. But this is your bronzer. You have 2 blushes in here. Well, 3. I guess you can count this as a blush. And then you have 2 highlighters. So this is a really good palette, you guys. So if you're on the hunt for a good highlighter, blush, and bronzer palette, I would highly recommend this one. All right, so when it comes down to eyeshadow palettes, I highly recommend getting that palette that you have had your eyes on, that you don't want to spend full price on, because I mean it's going to be on sale, and now is a good time to get that palette. So the ones that I recommend, I have one that I mentioned in all of my recommendations video, and I know some of you already know which palette that is, but I do want to recommend it again because I feel like this is definitely a palette that I think everybody, at least everybody, needs to have at least one of these palettes in your collection, especially when the sale comes around. So this is the Sephora Pro Warms palette. Y'all, when I say this has every shade you need in your life. But let me just open it so y'all can see it. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it already, but for those of you who have not seen this palette, this is what it looks like on the inside. You have warm tones everywhere. You also have a few cool tones as well, but this is that palette for the person who loves warm shadows. And what I like about these shadows, I know I have said this over and over again, but like I said, if you're new to my channel and if you have never heard me talk about this palette, the reason why I like this palette is, for one, the mattes in here are phenomenal. They last on the eyes all day long. Even if you don't wear a primer, these mattes are going to still look matte on the eyes. And I'm not even gonna lie, you do experience fallout with the shadows in here, but they blend so good on the eyes. I feel like this is like the perfect palette for a beginner, even though it is a little bit pricey, but these shadows blend so good, so easily, and they just look so pretty on the eyes. So I definitely recommend getting one of these if you are wanting to purchase a palette from Sephora during the sale. This is probably the one that I would recommend out of all of the palettes on the website. So definitely recommend this. So another palette that I recommend, if you are one of those who don't like to have a big palette with a ton of shades in it, like if you're one of those people who only wears maybe 2 or 3 shadows and they're like those everyday colors, I would recommend getting one of these Bare Mineral eyeshadow palettes. You have 6 shadows in here. This is the Gin Nude Latte palette, and when you look at this, this actually looks like a baby version of the Sephora Warms palette, the one that I just showed. It's just kind of like a really mini baby version of it. But if you're one of those people who only wears these shades, let me do a close-up so you guys can see it better. But if you are one of those people who only wears these shades, like the warm brown, the burgundy, the gold, the copper shades, if you just wear those shadows alone, then I would recommend getting this palette, because that's all you have in here, and you are not gonna be, you know, overwhelmed with having so many other shadows in a palette. So again, this is by Bare Minerals, and this is their Gin Nude Latte palette. So the Urban Decay Born to Run palette is another palette that I would recommend. This is actually one of my favorite palettes that Urban Decay has ever created. The shades in here are bomb. You have warm tones in here. You have a couple of cool tones. You have mattes, you have metallics. Like, this by far is the best palette that they have created, in my opinion. I mean, the shadows in here are also super easy to work with. I do have a tutorial and also a review on this palette if you guys have not checked it out. I will have that video down below in the description, so that way you guys, you know, can check it out if you missed it. But yes, I definitely recommend this palette. I mean, just like the Sephora Pro Warms palette, you have a good amount of shadows in here. So if you are one of those people who like to have different options, if you're wanting to create several different looks, then this is definitely a good palette to choose. So if you've never tried out any of the Pat McGrath palettes and you have been wanting to try them out, now is the best time to get one, because they are going to be on sale. And I have the Mothership, I think this is the Mothership 2. The only thing about these is they don't have the name, like which palette it is on the actual palette, but I think this is the Mothership 2, I believe. But when I say these shadows are on another level, girl, the mattes are super pigmented, super easy to blend out, super easy to work with, and the metallics are like let me just swatch a couple of these so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Like, these are on another level. And the thing with the Pat McGrath shadows is they're so intense and vibrant and pigmented. So now is the perfect time to try out these palettes, especially if you are a VIB Rouge member. You will get a full 20% off of this palette. All right, so when it comes to lip glosses, I have tons and tons of glosses that I could recommend, but I wanted to narrow it down for today's video, and the ones that I highly recommend are by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and she has some of the best lip glosses. I like how they're not sticky on the lips. They're super pigmented and they're super glossy. My favorite shade is Sepia. I don't have it in front of me because that one is actually in my purse. But another favorite of mine is called Terra. This is a really pretty mauve-y, kind of like a terracotta color. Really pretty, super pigmented. Love these glosses, you guys. So definitely try out their glosses. And other glosses that I want to recommend are by Bare Minerals. These are their Gin Nude glosses. I have the shade Perf, and I believe this is actually going to be similar to Terra by ABH, but let's see. Perf is like, oh yes, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, but Perf is the perfect mauve nude. I don't know how to explain it, but it is so pretty. It's literally like the perfect shade if you're into those dark mauve rosy lip colors. It's so pretty. But the differences between the Bare Minerals glosses and the Anastasia glosses is the Bare Mineral glosses are a little bit more sticky on the lips, and the Anastasia glosses are not sticky. And also the Bare Mineral glosses are more shiny than the Anastasia glosses. Like, they are so much more shinier on the lips. So if you're into those super duper shiny glosses and you don't mind, you know, the stickiness of the gloss, then you would definitely like the ones by Bare Minerals. And I'm pretty sure you will like the ones by Anastasia. So definitely try these out if you have never tried these before. And I have one more gloss to share, which is by Pat McGrath. Now, I did a full video on her new glosses. I think I featured just 2 of the glosses in that video, and this one is in the shade, what is this one? Flesh Astral. So this is actually what I have on my lips right now. I have it on top of 2 other lip products, which I'll share in a minute. But this is more of a peachy, kind of like a peachy sheer gloss. You don't really see much of a color, but this is perfect to top on. But this is perfect to pair on top of your favorite lipstick or liquid lipstick, and it's not really going to take away from that shade from the lip product. But this is really nice to wear on top of any, you know, any of your favorite lip products. And I like this one because this is also one of those glosses that's not sticky on the lips. It's very smooth, very glossy, and I just like the color. So she has lip glosses, she has lipsticks, so definitely try out their glosses if you're really into lip glosses. And again, this is in the shade Flesh Astral, and I do have it on the lips right now. All right, so for the lipsticks, I really like and suggest the ones by Too Faced. These are their natural nude lipsticks, and the one that I have on my lips right now is actually paired with a lip liner, and I have that gloss by Pat McGrath on top. So this one is called Skinny Dippin', and this is a really pretty light nude color. So there it is right there, but it looks a little bit darker on my lips right now because I do have a lip liner paired with it. But these are really moisturizing. They're not too drying on the lips, and I love how they look on the lips. I did do a full lip swatch on these lipsticks, so I will try to find that video and have it down below if you guys missed that video. But I have it paired with the Sephora gel lip liner in the shade Rosewood, and I have mentioned this so many times on my channel. I think I have featured this in all of my recommendation videos, as well as my, no, not my hauls, but definitely my recommendation video. But this one again is in the shade Rosewood, and these are ones that I definitely will be purchasing during the sale. These do twist up, and it is just the perfect color to pair with any nude lip color. It's so pretty. This is more of a mauve rosy color, so if you're wearing like a pinky nude lip, this is the perfect lip liner to wear with that. And one more product that I recommend is if you're into like colorful liners, like colorful eyeliners, I highly recommend the ones by Urban Decay. Girl, these are bomb. And this is actually my favorite one. This is called Deep In. If you guys ever see me wear teal on my bottom lash line, 9 times out of 10 is this. So again, this is in the shade Deep In, and this is the perfect teal color. Like, it is so pretty, so pretty. And let me do a close-up so you guys can see it better. But there it is right there. It is so pretty and metallic. Like, this is going to definitely give your eyes that pop. I love it. They have so many other shades, but this one is definitely my favorite one. All right, so those are all of my Sephora sale recommendations. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if any of you are gonna be shopping this sale, I would love to know what you're picking up. So let's go ahead and chit chat down below in the comments. And I think that is all that I have for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.